nothing is as hard as the Peace Corps. I just ran for office for a year, and it was full court press every day for a year. I was doing 60, 80-hour weeks. I was every night somewhere, every weekend knocking on doors. We knocked on 40,000 doors in a year. It was full court press. There were people who hated you, who'd never met you. There were lies being sent out about you. Spent $250,000 in hit pieces against me in people's mailboxes that said I was a horrible person and I was a schmuck. You know, that sucks. Wasn't as hard as Peace Corps. There was part of it that was, it really galvanized me, and I say hard, but also amazing, you know. So it really, that's one part of it. The other part is that I always continue to try and see things not just through my own eyes. And learning another language, I speak 3 languages, and I dabble in a couple others, but learning another language fluently is an amazing thing, because a quote I heard one time was, with each new language you learn, you are born anew. You're a new person. And I'm a little bit different in Spanish, and I'm a little bit different in Italian than I am in English. You know, I'm the same person, but having a different mode of expression is kind of funny. You know? So I just kind of, Italy was where I exploded with passion beforehand, and as one person in my family said, is the Peace Corps was more about not just that fire, but forging that fire, like building something with it, more of a focused process where I was still doing outreach and adventure, but it was trying to do something as opposed to just opening my eyes, trying to help. I also learned what you can't do, you know? I went down there thinking I was going to change the world, and I did, but not in the grandiose way I thought. And I learned that change is incremental, and you just work your tail off every day. When I was in high school, I did pretty good in high school just because I think because I just did. I didn't really think about it. I wasn't very intentional in my younger years. I didn't run for office at school. I was kind of playing the sports that I had gotten involved in when I was young. I was kind of flowing, right? And so when I applied for college, I only applied for 2. I applied for Davis and Cal Poly. And Davis allowed you to go undecided, and Cal Poly made you choose a major. And I chose ag business because my family was in it, and it was kind of familiar, and I just kind of checked the box. And I went down to college, and even though I've worked in agriculture a lot in my life, it wasn't like I was passionate about my major. College for me was just this wild experience of education, and I took my classes and I did good and I got good grades, but the thing I learned the most from in college was being the president of my fraternity. Yeah. You know, I mean, I was all of a sudden put in a position where I was leading 40 people and running meetings and figuring out how to interactively make sure that we got things done or had fun doing it, and how to inspire people to take action when there's not a paycheck associated with it, like they're not my employees. Like if they want to come and help me clean up or do something that's a community service event, they got to want to do it. So it's got to be fun. It can't be boring. You know, I mean, I learned so much. I learned I had to kick people out of our house. I learned what that was like to have to basically fire somebody who didn't want to play ball, which sucks. And it creates angst. And then I took one class in college called Humanities 302, which was called Human Values in Agriculture. It really changed my focus. All of a sudden I started to think about ag not in production, but in terms of natural resources, in terms of human values, in terms of diets and food aid and all these other things. Kind of blew my mind a little bit. And when I graduated college, everyone said, "What are you going to do next?" And I said, "Avoid that question." I said that to people because I didn't want to just go get a job. I spent a year traveling around and doing all kinds of different jobs around the world. And when at about the end of that year, I decided this is like one of those roads that says no outlet, or, you know, this is not a through road. It was a great tributary, but I didn't want to do that forever. So that's when I joined the Peace Corps, and it really kind of got me back on my path to my future, which is great. Yeah, focused me on that I was too interested in doing good, and I was too connected with trying to change the world in good ways to float. I had to be intentional. My biggest fear was that at that time in my life was that I'd had so much fun and other things, but I felt like I was pure potential and not performance. You know, I want to get things done. Here in your county, you have 5 Sonoma County supervisors in different areas. And you could consider them to be pretty much, I assume you know what like a mayor and a city council member does. That's kind of more of a common theme, but we're like the city council for the county. We're the county council. So we lead the efforts in the county, whether it's health and human services programs, whether it's everything from the WIC program, the Women, Infants, and Children's programs, Child Protective Services, on human services side. We run the water systems, we run the zoning of the land, like what can be built where and when, pave the roads that are outside of the cities. A lot of stuff that is done within a city is managed by the city council, but we're countywide, so all the land's outside and then a lot of the services that go to people. It's pretty much the most impactful, direct, applicable form of local government you can find. And I love it because it is not pixie dust. When I worked in Washington, D.C., sometimes we'd be talking about millions of dollars and it felt like pixie dust. You know, this is very real. If I make a decision, I have to look you in the eyes or your parent in the eyes and they say, you screwed up my business by making that decision, or you made my day, you didn't let that horrible business come in and move in next to me. And I have people crying in my office or happy or elated or whatever. It's a good reminder to do the right thing because you gotta hold your head high. Yeah, I like it. I'm new. I've only been 3.5 months in, but it's good.
Hi, I'm Bailey Stewart.
And I'm Eric Blaine.
Hi, I'm Alejandra Perez.
And I'm Carson Stewart.